In 2023, the Office for National Statistics stated that 26% of people who experienced sexual harassment said it happened in their place of work. The Guardian also reported in May 2024 that sexual harassment is still rife in schools, with a poll of mainly female support staff reporting that 1 in 10 of them had been sexually harassed. Hi everyone, I'm Natalie from My Progression, and today we're going to be discussing sexual harassment in the workplace, what it really means, what to do if it happens to you, and how to be an active bystander. So what is sexual harassment? Sexual harassment is unwanted behaviour of a sexual nature that either violates someone's dignity or creates an uncomfortable environment for them, whether it was intended or not. Sexual harassment can be a one-off act or a pattern of behaviour that can intimidate, humiliate or offend someone. Sexual harassment examples in the workplace can include, but are not limited to, sexual comments or jokes, suggestive looks, staring or leering, propositions and sexual advances, comments about personal private or sex life, including sharing your own, unwelcome touching, sending sexually explicit emails, text messages or social media posts, and of course, sexual assault, stalking and indecent exposure. If a person's behaviour is unwanted and is of a sexual nature, then it is sexual harassment. It doesn't matter whether other colleagues in the workplace find the person's behaviour acceptable or whether the incident is a one-off or repeated behaviour. If it makes a person feel intimidated, uncomfortable or degraded, then it is harassment. Research from a teachers' union indicates there is widespread reluctance amongst teachers to report harassment for fear of not being believed by employers. And even when this abuse is reported, in the majority of cases, little or no effective action is taken by employers to address the harassment. This research found that 1 in 5 members have experienced sexual harassment in the workplace by a colleague, manager, parent or pupil since becoming a teacher. So what does the law say? From the 26th of October 2024, new protections from sexual harassment came into force, with employers having a legal duty to take reasonable steps to prevent sexual harassment and create a safe working environment. The government website explains, employers now have a duty to anticipate when sexual harassment may occur and take reasonable steps to prevent it. If sexual harassment has taken place, an employer should take action to stop it from happening again. In 2021, the government set up a helpline called Everyone's Invited, ran by the NSPCC, to provide support to adults and children who are victims of sexual abuse and harassment. This initiative started after Soma Sarah shared her experience on Instagram of what she calls rape culture in June 2020. Within a week, she'd received and shared more than 300 anonymous responses of people with stories of misogyny, harassment, abuse and assault. Now, to be clear, men can also be victims of sexual harassment. It is just more common and more widely reported for women. In a poll of 1,000 young women, more than half claimed they'd been sexually harassed at their school, college or university. Ofsted then began an immediate review of safeguarding policies in both state and private schools to determine whether guidance for schools needs to be changed. Despite this intervention, in a March 2024 survey by Unison, 1 in 7 respondents had witnessed sexual harassment in schools in the last 5 years. In secondary institutions, the proportion rose to a quarter. The harassment was often instigated by male pupils towards both female pupils and female staff members. Therefore, the results of the survey show that sexual harassment, sexist language, and gender stereotyping are major issues in schools. If you would like to read the full results in the survey, the link is attached in the description. For more from My Progression, including our CPD accredited safeguarding course, subscribe to our channel so you never miss a new video. So what do you do if you're a witness or victim of sexual harassment? Sexual harassment in the workplace can create a stressful and hostile working environment, causing staff members to feel intimidated or anxious about going to work. It's fundamental that you know what to do if you witness sexual harassment towards a colleague or if you're a victim of it in the workplace. However, it is important to mention that if you witness a pupil being sexually harassed, this is a safeguarding concern and immediate action should be taken following your school's safeguarding policy. All teachers and educational professionals have specific protection at work from sexual harassment under the Equality Act 2010. You're protected whether you are permanent, fixed term, full term, part-time, supply or agency. Offensive student behaviour should be reported under the student behaviour or discipline procedure or in writing to your head teacher or principal. Sexual harassment by a colleague should be dealt with under your workplace procedures. Regardless of whether you've been sexually harassed by a pupil or colleague, it's vital that you report it. If you've experienced sexual harassment at work from a pupil or colleague, you can make a complaint to your employer. Now, in these cases, your employer should take your complaint seriously, handle it fairly and sensitively. Now, it is best to make a complaint as soon as possible, but if there is a delay in reporting something historical that happened, your employer should still take it seriously. If you're a victim of sexual harassment and you need extra support, contact your union to seek advice and discuss any concerns. When reporting sexual harassment, always keep evidence of emails, including dates, times, and names of any witnesses present. So what is a bystander? A bystander is someone who observes or becomes aware of a situation or behaviour that may be harmful, unethical, or inappropriate. Certain types of bystanders may observe an incident and choose not to act because they're unsure of how to respond, or they even contribute towards the negative behaviour. However, an active bystander has the potential to take active, responsible steps to prevent or address the situation. There are different ways you can be an active bystander and support someone who's being sexually harassed in the workplace. Now, this approach follows the 5 Ds. Distract. Take an indirect approach to de-escalate the situation. You could do this by asking a question or just purposefully dropping something near the incident. Delegate. Get help from someone else, for example, a senior member of staff or a member of the office. Delay. After the incident is over, check in with the person who is harassed and speak to them about what happened and how you can help. Direct. Assess your own safety first, then speak up about the harassment. Be firm and clear. And document. Ensure you take detailed notes to support the person being harassed. By being an active bystander, you're showing that you do not support unacceptable behaviour of any kind in the workplace, including having zero tolerance towards sexual harassment. It's important to have self-advocacy by speaking up for yourself, listening to your intuition, and communicating your thoughts and concerns to others. ACAS says, if you see someone being sexually harassed at work, you could step in and try to stop it happening if you feel it's safe to do so. Now, after it's happened, you can support a complaint made by the person who experienced the sexual harassment, report what you've seen or experienced, give evidence as a witness, or even make a sexual harassment complaint yourself. Now, if you're making a complaint yourself, you don't need the permission of the person who has been sexually harassed. Unfortunately, it's clear that sexual harassment is still common in schools, with many cases going unreported due to fears of cases not being taken seriously. Sexual harassment towards staff members can be colleague to colleague or pupil to staff, with both being equally as intimidating, uncomfortable, and at times dangerous. Employers have a legal duty to take reasonable steps to prevent sexual harassment and create a safe working environment, and therefore it's vital that all cases of sexual harassment are reported. If you are a victim of sexual harassment from a colleague or pupil, gather evidence, including witnesses, and report it to the appropriate person in your setting. To ensure that sexual harassment is reported and victims feel supported, be an active bystander and proactively speak up against sexual harassment, showing you have zero tolerance towards it. If you've been affected by sexual harassment and would like more support, the link for victim support is detailed in the description for this video. I've been Natalie from My Progression, and let's keep your career in motion.